God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. This is my testimony of getting attacked by evil spirits. I was into conspiracy theories. I'd been into conspiracy theories for a while, and I started calling for freedom on the internet. These spirits didn't like that. It seemed tuned up in my house and started harassing me. Really, just before they turned up at my house, I started feeling like ethereal handcuff things, which I found myself like breaking spiritually, wanting to break them, and that was very intermittent. Like that probably happened like literally like a couple of times for 10, 20 minutes or an hour or two or something. And anyway, they turned up at my house, and it's not like I seen them, like they were there. No, I seen them. They were there, and they made themselves known by speaking to my conscience. So I never heard them audibly. I've never seen them, and they started just accusing me of things and different things. And there's obviously it must have been a few of them there, and yeah, they I think they were doing funny things like I can't remember everything that happened, but basically they started accusing me of things. Then, cut a long story short, they at a certain point they just started. They decided that okay, after speaking with you, we're going to attack you now, and kind of bizarre thing. And the first thing I remember anyway was that um, there was like an oppression or something under one side of my brain or side of my head. There's like an impression, and it felt like there was this impression, and it was continuous for hours and hours and hours. And I felt like I was gonna die of like a brain aneurysm or something like that. And I thought, oh well, there's not much to go now. And it was kind of weird and frightening. Like one day you're all good, next minute you could be dying or something. I felt like it was kind of bizarre. And but that wasn't the end of it. The next thing I remember was that they they started warping my reality. Which when they were warping my reality, it seemed like they were using like the movie, like using movies or something. Like it felt like you're in like the feel of these movies. Like I remember one of them kind of being the movie Inception. It was weird how that movie was like. I don't know how, why, or whatever. But anyway, that's what they started doing. Spirits, I'd say spirits of confusion. And it's like they use these movies, something like that. So they're using these movies, so it's like it makes you wonder. Like I don't watch movies anymore. Anyway, but at the end of the day, yeah, interesting. And the other movies were used in other ways during this whole thing as well. Interesting. Like real interesting. But at the end of the day, anyway, in order to break this attack, I found myself walking the dog like 5 or so times a day to try to reacquaint myself with reality. So they're trying to warp my reality. Obviously, the opposite, because a lot of these attacks that they do, you just have to opposite them. So they're trying to warp your reality. You have to get familiar with your true reality. Like so, that's what I had to do. I had to reacquaint myself with the true reality. Constantly, in any way. Like a great way was reacquainting myself with a friend or something like that, and I could just speak to them what was going on, and they'd on some level like understand what I'm saying, and yeah, yeah. So whatever, you got to do the opposite, and yeah. So that's what was going on, and then at the same time, while this was happening, at night time, when I this only happened about 6 or 7 times that they tried to suck me out of my body. What they were actually trying to do, like your spirit's down here, down below your rib cage. So they were, as far as I know, they were trying to they're trying to use astral travel as astral travel. Look it up if you don't know what it is. Astral travel is when you leave your body during sleep. So you leave your body and nobody accidentally astral travels is the thing. You don't accidentally, oh, I'm astral traveling. Like, that doesn't happen. So if you're astral traveling and you're going after it, and this other guy, this, spiritual type person that used to do all that sort of astral travel stuff, he said that you don't astral travel on your own. There's always a spirit aiding you to astral travel. It's no accident. Like, anyway. But yeah, don't astral travel. Very dangerous. Don't do it. But anyway, they were trying to use like a involuntary way of astral traveling, because you, in a way, like, you have to agree to go astral traveling. So what they were in this situation, they were trying to use fear, like my fear, as an agreement to pull me into the astral. Anyway, that's what they're trying to do, and but God has made us sovereign. So if we don't agree, they can't do anything. Anyway, this is what happened. They, it seemed like some spirit was there going like, that's what it seemed like, trying to suck me out of my body, like and then all the wind around the house would whip up, and this is apparently a thing, like, this real thing, like, you'd be surprised at the end of the day. And they were trying to cause fear. There's probably spirits of fear and all that. And what I had to, during this attack, which would last about 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 minutes, I don't know, who knows, a few minutes anyway, I just found myself having to sit there, face the fear, and show no fear to it. And yeah, everything, any sensations or anything they were trying to do was powerless in the end. Like, at the end of the day, they couldn't do anything. They completely failed in their attempt. They tried this, I don't know, 5 times, something like that, and then they just gave up there. And this happened over the space of a week or two or whatever. And it was hard to judge everything that happened or remember. And they were warping my reality during the day, trying to pull me into the astral during the night time, and not a lot, like, it wasn't like all the time, but that was happening. And yeah, then they gave up. Like, slowly the attacks, like, that, it seems they went as hard as they could, and then it tapered off from there. So, like, after that, after the confusion thing, try to warp my reality, that didn't work. They tried to suck me out of my body, that didn't work. They tried to do the mind thing, whatever they're doing there, that didn't work. They tried to do the I can't remember. They probably even tried to do other things. They were trying to, like, say things to me to scare me, and and then they tried. Then they said, right, we'll try a different way. Like, we'll try something else because they just, nothing was working. So, like, at the end of the day, they tried another plan, which was to try to do a skit using physical touch, using lights flickering and different things, and their spirits and their lies. They're just lies. Like, or the things that they say are lies. So, like, at the end of the day, all the things that they say, like, the problem is, because this is how a curse works. A curse works if you believe the curse. If you don't believe the curse and you just laugh at it, you just go, whatever, mate. You're a joke, man. Like, honestly, it won't work. Like, but at the end of the day, if you start feeding into the lies, that's what they want you to do. And yeah, basically, you got to realize that God's made you sovereign. There's no, it's just a lie. And yeah, that's what they do. But the kingdom of lies, even if you know anything about them from the Bible, it says, like, Satan is like the father of lies. So, like, in everything in his kingdom is a counterfeit. I've done a lot of study into the spiritual stuff anyway. And anyway, like, basically, that's what they're trying to do. Is another lie. But then it's so that they could stop attacking me, and sort of probably, sadly, they'd go and do that stuff to someone else. But at the end of the day, they did this little skit, and they tried to deceive me. So they tried to deceive me, and then they wouldn't. There'd still be some monitoring spirits. I could sense them, that they were just monitoring me and all that. But at the end of the day, all they would try to do is they'd try to suck me out of my body, or they'd try to pull me into the astral, push me into the astral, during every time I go to sleep. So every time, like if this was waking state, it's obviously a bit of a arc, and this was sleep, you know, like a pull, as you go, and now you're getting sleepy, now you're getting tired, and then eventually you go to sleep. Right at that point where you just in between waking state and sleeping state, there is obviously some sort of vulnerability, and they're trying to exploit that. So at the end of the day, right when you're just falling asleep, when someone says that, and you're like, just about got to sleep. They would attack me. Though it felt like some sort of, the only way I can explain it was like electric shock or something, like boof. They're trying to, and it seemed like they're trying to hoist me, pull me, jack me out, try to, I don't know, they're trying to push me, pull me out of my body. I was trying to go to sleep, so that's bizarre. Anyway, if you look at what happens to someone when you do that to them, it's very tormenting stuff. But anyway, that's what they're trying to do, and basically, yeah, I think I would even pray and stuff like that. I'd go, God, get me through to the morning, and different things like that, like blah blah. Blah. But they would attack me over and over and over and over and over again until eventually I would wake up in the morning. So not very nice time. I endured that for about 3 or 4 months, and the only reason I could endure that was probably because I got used to it, and I just started to accept that this is a reality that I'm faced with, and this is a reality that I'm living with. Because um, I'll just tell you why I say that in a minute. But I endured that for about 3 or 4 months before the rest of it. Mainly probably about 3 months of that, like constantly, or 2.5 months, something like that. And yeah, and then I told my sister about it because I didn't really reach out to help because they'd done that little skit, and I sort of could tell, that it was a lie, and I just knew it, and different things. It was a really interesting time. Like if I said even the other things that were going on, even the unspiritual things, it's bizarre. But anyway, um, yeah, so it's all good though. God be the glory that I made it through. Basically, not by His strength, but not by my strength, but His. Yeah. Anyway, so I told my sister about it because I didn't reach out. I did try to go to a church and stuff like that, and like help, ask for help and stuff. But anyway, I told my sister about it, and at a certain point, I got through to her that, man, this is quite serious and blah blah blah. And she goes, right, you got to have faith, and she goes, plead the blood of Jesus over them. And I had a little bit of involvement in Jesus, like off and on, but not really, like. And she said, I'll pray for you. So at the end of the day, that night when I went to go down to sleep, I said, blood of Jesus on you. I put the blood of Jesus on you. Plead, whatever I said, plead the blood of Jesus on them, something. Whether that worked or not, don't really know. And at the end of the day, it was definitely an interesting time. And then I had a little bit more faith, I think. And at the end of the day, my sister prayed for me that night. And she's not an on fire believer. She's not like this, goes to church every week, praying all the time, all that sort of stuff. No, she had encounters with God, so she knew God was real, stuff like that. But she kept some of the commandments of God. Like I'd say she kept most of them for most part of the time. She was kind of, I guess, she lived on some level repented lifestyle, and in some level in agreement with God. And but yeah, I'm trying to let you know that, like, you know I don't know why her prayer was so powerful. I still don't know. Was it because God wanted to help me or whatever? Who knows? Or was it because she was my sister and she had like some sort of authority to pray or something like that? But basically, I'd say, anyone with mountain moving prayers will do it. I just don't know, like, or because this was like, maybe it was just a grace of God. I'd probably say that was probably what it was. Like I enjoyed so much, and God was watching it, and just going, oh man, I was just helping. Like, but anyway, cut a long story short, I got to end this. She prayed for me that night, and the attacks were pretty much nothing of what they were, and till this day, I don't got to worry.